Welcome to part 3 of navigating your smartphone. For the avoidance of confusion, here I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S8, which is an Android phone. Please note that not all Android phones will look like this. What you see on the screen may vary and depends on the make and model and the age of the phone and the version of Android which is installed. In this session we're going to look at how to use the main navigation buttons, which are the three at the bottom, left to right, back, home and recent apps. Note that the home button is always in the middle, although the other two may change depending on your phone. We'll also look at using the screen navigation indicators. They can be quite hard to see, they're very small. They're just above favourite apps panel here. And we'll also look at a couple of other navigational features, the 3-dot and 3-bar buttons. But we'll start off by looking at how the back and home buttons work. If I kick off by opening my email, here's a message from Argos, looking at the perfect gift. If I open that email, I can then scroll down the email, see what's involved. I can spread the fingers and zoom in a bit. Tech ideas for him, shop tech gifts. And this takes us to the Argos website and onto the page which has got ideas for Father's Day, tech gifts. We can scroll down and a watch with earphones. What we've done then is we went to the home page, we tapped on the icon for email, and in the email list we tapped on the email for Argos, and within that email was a link to the tech gifts for Father's Day, and in that list was this item. This is as far as I'm going to go. The question now is, how do we get back to the home page where we started? There's a choice of routes. Very often people will keep tapping just the back button until it takes them back to the home screen. And the other option is to tap the home button, which will take you straight back there. Which one you choose depends on what you're going to do next. If you think you want to be able to get back to the Argos item soon, the best thing to do is to tap the home button, and then you can carry on with something else. So if I want to look for the weather, for example, there's a weather widget. But the Argos page is still there, and there's two ways of getting back to it. Either by tapping the recent apps button, which lets you swipe through all the apps you have open at any given time, and then just tap the one you want and you're back where you left off. So if we go back home again, the other way to get there is to go back to your home page and back into your email app. And because the last thing we looked at in the email, or the end of the trail we'd got to was this page, it's still open. So if you'd only wanted to go a step or two back from this page, you would just use the back button rather than the home button. So back takes you back a step to the list, which we found the watch on. There's the watch. And then back another step takes us back to the email. And back another step takes us back to the list of emails in our email app. And finally, one more step takes us back to the home page. Going back to the recent apps just for a moment, as I say, you can swipe left to right, right to left to look at what apps you've got open at any given time and jump between them. If we're finished with the weather, we can swipe the weather away. There's another app we can get rid of. Now, your phone may look slightly different from that. You may have the apps appearing vertically, moving vertically and up and down, in which case you swipe them left to right to close them. We're not getting rid of the apps when we do this, not uninstalling it, we're just closing them. And if we want to go back, say, to the weather, just tap it again, the weather comes back. The app is still in the phone. It's home again. So let's take another look at the email app, because I'm going to look at the other navigational features I mentioned earlier. Very often you'll see an icon that looks like 3 bars, in this case up in the top left hand corner. This indicates that there are more options or other features, and tapping it will drop down a menu, which is a list of other possible actions that you can take. In this email app, it offers access to, amongst other things, sent items, deleted items in the bin, drafts, emails you may have started and not finished, and spam emails. To close this menu, either swipe it back or tap away from it and it will close. If we go into the back again into the Argos email, we can see the top right hand corner, there's another button, and this has got 3 dots arranged vertically. Again, if we tap the 3 dots, another menu appears. I'm not going to go through all of these features and options here. These are for you to explore. What you need to be aware of, again I'll tap away to close it, what you need to be aware of is that there is almost no wasted space on the screen. Each of these icons do something. The designers of these systems have very little space to play with, so they make the most of it. If we go back into the Argus website, for example, you can see that the 3 dots are appearing up here, but there's also the 3 bars here, so each of those will take you to different options. As I say, almost everything does something, and it's your job to become familiar with what those functions are and learn what the various symbols do when you tap them. So let's go back to the home screen. The last thing I'll cover today is the screen indicator feature. People tend not to notice the wee dots at the bottom of the screen just above your favourite apps panel. If I swipe right to left or left to right, you'll see the white dot moves to show you which screen you're on. If you go to the home page, it's not a dot, it's a little house shape, which is a way to confirm that you're on your home screen. If I know exactly what screen I'm looking for and I'm accurate enough, if I tap the dots, it takes me to other screens. But generally speaking, most people will just swipe. And again, the home button takes you home. So to review, the main navigation buttons at the bottom is what we've looked at. There's the back button and the home button. So if we go back, retrace our steps to the item, if we tap the back button, it's a bit like going straight back to the contents page in the book. We can then start another chapter or read something else in the book. Whereas if we choose to go back through a page at a time, we will end up at the contents page, but it's going to be a bit more laborious to get there. We also looked at recent apps. So again, you can swipe through the apps that you've got open and close the ones that you're finished with, or close all if you're finished with them. And finally, we looked at 2 other common features, the 3 bars and the 3 dots. If you ever get stuck on a page and wonder what get the feeling you expected to do something next, it's always worth looking for the 3 dots or the 3 bars to help you move on. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, comment, or leave a message if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see covered.